Catch the wave. You're listening to Wave Radio, your home for uplifting gospel music.
Good afternoon, good people, and welcome to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown, and guess what? It is Fearless Faith Friday. Yes, you made it to the end of the week, and I am celebrating you because you kept your chest up, you kept your head up, and you kept going regardless how hard it got, regardless how many failures you might have gotten this week. You kept going, and guess what? Those failures, the things that you thought were failures, they were lessons. And them lessons help you get to the end of the week. So I celebrate you because you are taking time to listen to the Afternoon Praise where we help you discover and define your gifts. Yes, we do. But let's talk about this, y'all. This week right here has been a great week. This week has been awesome. And if you've been tracking with us all this week, then you already know this has been not a surface level conversation. This has not been a surface level conversation. This week, we audited your routines, your environments, your emotional execution, your self-negotiation, your discipline, your avoidance, and we audited your behavior alignment. But today, people, the audit's not over. I know it's the end of the week. I know it's Friday. You're getting ready for Memorial Day weekend. But guess what? The audit is not over. Today is deployment. Today is movement. Today is about going from great to greater. Because, see, a lot of people have spent years surviving. I'm one of those people. We have spent years surviving pressure. We have spent years surviving disappointment. We have spent years surviving emotional battles, surviving instability, surviving fear, and all these survival points add up to this one. We have been spending years surviving life. But you were never built just to survive life. We were built to lead it. Let's look at Joshua 1 verse 9. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord thy God is with thee, whithersoever thou goest. See, people, notice something important here. God did not tell Joshua to wait until fear disappeared. He commanded movement despite fear. See, that's where many people get stuck. They are waiting. They are waiting to feel ready. And we talked about this yesterday. They are waiting to feel confident. They're waiting to feel certain. They are waiting to feel emotional aligned before they move, before they make the first step. But I'm talking to you all. I'm talking to you all, elite performers. See, and elite performers understand movement often creates the confidence people are waiting for. Today is not about hype, people. Today is about agreement. An agreement with your capacity, an agreement with your discipline. Today is about agreement with your calling. Today is agreement about your leadership level. And this is the agreement. We are going from great to greater. We are agreeing with your next level. And great can become dangerous when it convinces you to stop going towards greater. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Join us on this heavenly journey, one song at a time, Wave Radio.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise, and this is Fearless Faith Friday, and we are talking about going from great to greater. Yes. See, most people quit mentally first. See, a lot of people think they reach their limit when really they have reached discomfort. There's a difference. And let's go to the research. Research in high performance psychology shows that many people mentally quit long before they reach their actual capacity. The brain starts sending signals: fear, signals of fatigue, signals of hesitation, signals of emotional resistance. Not always because you are truly depleted, but because the mind is trying to protect comfort and stability. That means some people are not trapped by inability, they are trapped by perceived limitations. And once a person emotionally accepts limitations, they start shrinking themselves behaviorally. And now they play smaller, they hesitate longer, avoid risk, negotiate with discipline, retreat from growth. See, a lot of people have untapped capacity sitting behind emotional hesitation. And the dangerous thing about hesitation is that over time, it starts feeling like wisdom. When really it is fear wearing a professional outfit. See, your discomfort is not always proof you reached your limit. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
You're riding the waves of faith and grace on Wave Radio.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise on this Fearless Faith Friday. Yes, I know it's raining here in North Carolina. It's raining all over, but guess what? You are alive. You are breathing. You are able to smell the rain, hear the rain, see the rain, or feel the rain. So God has blessed you to wake up today. But let's talk about great has become too comfortable. Yes. See, this is the dangerous part about success. Sometimes great becomes the enemy of greater. Because once people become competent, they become comfortable, respected, and stable, they stop stretching. Now, growth feels disruptive. Expansion feels risky. Discipline feels unnecessary. But let me tell you, people, but greatness was never supposed to become a resting place. It was supposed to become a foundation for expansion. And some people are surviving inside a level they've already mastered because emotionally they are afraid of what the next level will require from them. And every next level eventually demands stronger discipline, sharper thinking, greater emotional maturity, and deeper responsibility. See, greater always costs something. Comfort can quietly become a ceiling. Today, we are going from great to greater. And you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Stay tuned and stay blessed here on Wave Radio.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. How many of you all have fear in the driver's seat? I used to be like that. And sometimes I get like that. But let me tell you something. Fear is a passenger, not the driver. See, a lot of people think fearless means never feeling fear. That's not true, people. Fear is human. Fear is emotional. Fear is biological. Fear is part of pressure. But mature people stop allowing fear to drive the decisions. And my people that's listening right now, I know you are elite performers. And elite performers understand. Fear may enter the vehicle, but fear was never get access to the steering wheel. I'm gonna say that again. Fear may enter the vehicle, but fear never gets access to the steering wheel. See, that's powerful because some people have allowed fear to control movement, delay execution, shrink vision, weaken their discipline, and interrupt their leadership. Meanwhile, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is movement despite fear. And often the moment people finally move, they realize fear was never as powerful as hesitation made it appear. See, fear loses power when movement begins. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Stay tuned and stay blessed here on Wave Radio.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk about emotions. Let's talk about our emotional conditions. See, stop waiting on emotional conditions to be where you want them to be at a feel-good type situation. Because, see, elite performers do not wait for perfect emotional conditions. They execute through pressure, they execute through discomfort, they execute through uncertainty, they execute through fear, and they execute through adversity. Because execution cannot depend entirely on emotions. Because if you like me, if you're anything like me, if you're a human like me, some days you feel focused, some days you feel tired, some days you feel emotional sharp, but other days you feel mentally drained. But if movement only happens when emotions cooperate, consistency would never fully develop. See, some people are waiting for emotional certainty when they already have enough information to move. And honestly, many breakthroughs are delayed because people keep treating emotional readiness like a requirement instead of a preference. Stop waiting to feel ready. Move anyway. Because if I can be honest, people, to record this show, to prepare to record this show, it takes a lot. And I do this daily. And it's some days I wake up, I'm like, you know what? I'm not finna record. I'm going to put an old show on. But guess what? That's not what God called me to do. I said, God. That's not what God called me to do. God gave me a responsibility. I understand my purpose. I understand my calling. And when I don't feel like recording a show, writing an article, putting social media up, guess what? That's when I need to do it the most. That's when my breakthrough happens. And I'm telling you, that's when your breakthrough happens, when you start doing things when you don't feel like doing it. Stop waiting to feel ready, people. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Stay tuned and stay blessed here on Wave Radio.
If you just tuned in and you're listening to the Afternoon Praise on this Fearless Faith Friday, I know some of y'all are traveling. Where you going? Where are you headed to? I know some of y'all headed to Myrtle Beach. Some of y'all headed to Virginia Beach. Some of y'all are just chilling at home, going to cook out, relax. But hit me up on my Instagram at Business Point God. Let me know what you are doing for this Memorial Day weekend. All right. So today we are talking about going from great to greater. See, movement builds confidence. Many people think confidence creates movement. Actually, movement often creates confidence. It's the other way around. Because every time you move through fear, through discomfort and uncertainty, your mind gathers evidence that you are capable. See, confidence grows through execution, not isolation, not overthinking, not endless preparation. Execution teaches the mind we are moving, we are adapting, we are surviving, we are capable. See, that changes your internal belief system. A lot of people are praying for confidence while continually avoiding the very movement that would build it. Movement teaches the mind what fear tried to hide. Start moving, people. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Stay tuned and stay blessed here on Wave Radio.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise, and if you miss any of this show, you can go back to my YouTube channel. That's the Business Point Guard, and listen to the show entirely, minus the music. And it will go quick. It's not 4 hours. It's not 4 hours. It would be like 30 minutes, 30 something minutes that you can listen to all the breaks minus the music. And I want you to share my YouTube channel, please. Right now, I think I am at 406 subscribers. I need to get that up. So can you help me? If you feel like my content, if you feel like my show is beneficial and is helping and it can help others, please share my YouTube channel. But today we're talking about going from great to greater. And excuse me. And survival mode is exhausting, people. And I'm saying this again. If you're like me, if you're human like me, survival mode is exhausting. See, some people, me, you, some people that you know, and if you say you're not in survival mode, sometimes you're lying. Stop lying to yourself. So some people have lived in survival mode so long that survival feels normal. And that's why I say stop lying to yourself, because now you're made your survival mode feel normal. But I'm gonna say that again. Some people have lived in survival mode so long that survival feels normal. Always reacting, always scrambling, always recovering, always emotionally firefighting. But survival mode eventually exhausts the mind. It exhausts your body, your emotions, and leadership capacity. Because survival mode is reactive. Leadership mode is intentional. See, leadership says, I will govern my life instead of constantly reacting to it. And let me tell you what that requires. That requires structure, people. It requires discipline. It requires emotional regulation. It requires intentional decisions. And it requires self-governance. See, a lot of people are tired, not because life is impossible, but because they are carrying the emotional exhaustion of constant reaction. You were never built to spend your whole life recovering emotionally. Let's start leading our life, people. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Bringing the sounds of heaven 24/7, Wave Radio.
Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. Let's talk about Joshua. See, Joshua had to shift mentally. See, Joshua 1 verse 7, only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law. See, Joshua was stepping into a massive assignment. Moses was gone. The leadership shifted. Responsibility increased on Joshua. And notice this. God repeatedly commanded Joshua to be courageous. Why? Because greater responsibility requires greater internal agreement. See, Joshua could not lead a nation into promised territory while mentally operating like a survivor. The territory required a leadership mindset. And some people are praying for larger territory while emotionally functioning beneath the assignment. God was preparing Joshua mentally before expanding him publicly. And sometimes the greater battle before elevation is internal alignment. Greater responsibility, people, requires greater internal leadership. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Catch the wave. You're listening to Wave Radio, your home for uplifting gospel music.
Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise on this Fearless Faith Friday. Let's talk about Caleb. Caleb saw the same giants differently. You know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, if you don't, let me tell you the story. See, most people know the story of the spies. 10 saw giants and immediately shrunk internally. But Caleb saw the exact same environment differently. See, let's look at Numbers 13, verse 30. And Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, "Let us go up at once and possess it, for we are well able to overcome it." See, that's powerful, because Caleb's confidence was not rooted in comfort. It was rooted in agreement. The environment did not determine his identity. And many people today are allowing giants of their environments, giants of pressure, giants of opposition, giants of fear, giants of difficulty to shrink their eternal capacity. See, Caleb understood something powerful. Difficulty does not cancel the assignment. And sometimes opposition is confirmation that that territory is valuable. The environment does not determine the validity of your assignment. You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Catch the wave. You're listening to Wave Radio, your home for uplifting gospel music.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. And I know I'm using a lot of Bible reference. I'm using a lot of people in the Bible, because this right here, your greatness, it comes from God. What's in you is greater than what's in this world. So don't allow fear to make you feel small, because God has built something in you that nobody can take away. But let's look at Peter. Peter had to leave the boat, right? Some of y'all gonna have to leave the boat. Peter did not discover his capacity while staying inside the boat. He discovered it while stepping beyond comfort. See, in Matthew 14, verse 29, and he said, "Come." And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water. That moment required courage, trust, movement, and agreement. And many people are trying to experience transformation while refusing to leave emotional safety. You got to leave the boat, people. See, growth usually begins where comfort ends. The dangerous thing about comfort is that eventually it starts convincing people that safety is wisdom. And many people are protecting the boat while praying for water walking experience. See, some breakthroughs only happen outside of the boat. Come on, my water walkers. It's your time. Get out that boat. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Catch the wave. You're listening to Wave Radio, your home for uplifting gospel music.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise, and we are going from great to greater, to greater, to greater, to greater. Yes. See, your capacity is larger than your comfort zone. See, a lot of people have more in them than they realize. You have more resilience. You have more leadership quality. You have more discipline. You definitely have more creativity in you. You have more courage. And I'm talking to you. You have more emotional strength than you realize. But comfort zones shrink visible capacity, because comfort reduces stretching. Stretching develops growth, people. And growth requires pressure. That's true spiritually, that's true mentally, and that's true emotionally. And it's true professionally. See, a muscle never develops without resistance. Neither does your leadership. And some people are asking for expansions while avoiding every environment that would develop it. Your comfort zone is not your calling, people. And I'm gonna say it again. Your comfort zone is not your calling, people. I'm gonna say it one more time. One for the Father, one for the Son, and this is the third one for the Holy Ghost. Your comfort zone is not your calling, people. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Catch the wave. You're listening to Wave Radio, your home for uplifting gospel music.
If you just tuned in, you're listening to Fearless Faith Friday here on Wave Radio, and this is the Afternoon Praise. And yes, you know who I am. I am Demetrius L. Brown, and let's talk about eternal agreement that changes everything. Yes, your internal agreement changes everything. See, going from great to greater requires internal agreement. You have to agree with your habits, your routine, your environments, your discipline, your thinking, your execution. You must eventually agree with the future you keep speaking about, because divided behavior creates unstable growth. And you cannot pray for expansion while protecting limitation. You cannot desire transformation while defending inconsistency. Eventually, behavior reveals agreement. And when eternal agreement finally develops, movement becomes more consistent because the internal debate loses authority. Greater begins when internal agreement becomes stronger than internal resistance. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Catch the wave. You're listening to Wave Radio, your home for uplifting gospel music.
You're tuned in to the Afternoon Praise. Let's talk about discipline is freedom, y'all. See, a lot of people think discipline removes freedom. And we talked about this. I stressed this on every show. This one point I stressed on every show. Discipline is freedom. Discipline does not remove freedom. It actually creates freedom. See, discipline creates stability. It creates clarity. It creates peace. It creates consistency. And it creates emotional strength. See, undisciplined living creates chaos, scrambling, stress. That's what they say in the country. Stress, emotional instability, and constant recovery cycle. See, the disciplined life creates more room for growth because energy stops leaking through inconsistency. And many people are emotionally drained simply because too much of their life is unsupported structurally. And I'm speaking from experience, people. See, discipline protects peace. Discipline protects focus. Discipline protects momentum. Discipline protects your future from your emotions. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Catch the wave. You're listening to Wave Radio, your home for uplifting gospel music.
If you just tuned in, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise on this Fearless Faith Friday. Yes. Let me tell you something. Can I tell you something? I want to tell you, and you. Matter of fact, all y'all just come in. Come on in. Let me tell you this. Stop shrinking yourself. See, some people have spent years, minimizing themselves, doubting themselves, second guessing themselves, negotiating with their calling. See, meanwhile, they already survived things that should have broken them. You know what that means? I'm glad you asked. I'm going to tell you. That means there is already proof of resilience inside of you. But sometimes people become so connected to old survival identities that they struggle to see who they are becoming now. The old version of them still speaks louder internally than the emergent version. And the internal language affects their confidence, their movement, their courage, their leadership, and their execution. stop speaking to yourself like you are still trapped in old seasons. Talk to your future. Speak to your new you. Are you listening to the Afternoon Praise? I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Catch the wave. You're listening to Wave Radio, your home for uplifting gospel music.
If you got a shout out or request, hit me up and I got you. I want to make sure that this Memorial Day weekend, you're listening to some good gospel music. And I'm going to tell you, man, it is good. Wave play some great gospel music. We play all music, all gospel Christian music across the board. We play some good stuff. So I want you to hit us up with your requests because we're going to get those on and we're going to shout you out wherever you are, okay? But this weekend is a reset point, okay? As we move into Memorial Day weekend, do not just escape. I want you to reflect. I want you to reset. And I want you to refocus. See, this weekend can become another distraction or a turning point. It's your decision. Use this time intentionally. I need you to do what we talked about this whole week. I need you to audit your routines. I need for you to audit your environments. I need for you to audit your discipline. I need for you to audit your focus. I need for you to audit your emotional patterns. I need for you to audit your agreements with yourself. Because the next level of your life cannot be built or unmanaged internally. I'm going to say that again. Because the next level of your life cannot be built on unmanaged internal infrastructure. And sometimes people do not need a brand new strategy. You know what they need? I'm glad you asked. I'm going to tell you. They need a renewed agreement with what they already know to do. Greater requires intentional rebuilding. You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Catch the wave. You're listening to Wave Radio, your home for uplifting gospel music.
Thank you for joining me here on this Fearless Faith Friday. My time is almost up, but we got a little bit of time. So, you got me for a little while longer. But let's talk about this. Because we are talking about going from great to greater. But I want you to know, you already have more capacity than you think. Let that sink. See, some people are waiting for permission to become who they already have the capacity to be. You already survived. What did you survive? Okay, let me bring it back to your memory since you kind of forgot. See, you already survived pressure. You've already survived rejection. You've already survived uncertainty. You've already survived emotional battles. You have already survived some setbacks. Guess what? You have already survived some painful seasons. That means strength already exists inside of you. But strength expands when movement begins, not when avoidance continues. You already have more. You already have more inside you. You have more courage. You have more resilience. You have more leadership in you. You have more wisdom in you. You have more capacity. See, fear wants you to believe that you don't have these things in you. But you do. You do, people. I'm gonna say this. Can I go down the list again? Because I want this I want it to hit you like a punch in the face. Pow, 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 pow. You already have more courage. Pow. You already have more resilience. Pow. That's the uppercut. You already have more leadership. You already have more wisdom and capacity than fear wants you to believe. I hope them things smacked you in the face. Pow, 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 pow. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Catch the wave. You're listening to Wave Radio, your home for uplifting gospel music.
Man, this show has been good. This week has been great, man. I thank y'all for just joining me this week, being here with me, allowing me to do what I do, because I'm telling you, when I do these shows, I grow. See, this information and this research is not just for you. This is for me. God is working on me, and he's allowing me to share with you. We are going through this together. We are going from great to greater together. And I'm telling you, if you pay attention for the last few months, I'm going in a direction. See, I had to first start building you. I had to start changing your mindset, the way you think about yourself. Because this season right here, we have to build something greater. Because this world is jacked up and God's people need to be in place. We need to be in place because guess what? Our Father is the creator of all things. He has given us the strength. See, the power in us is more greater than the power of this world. But if we don't understand our purpose and what we were set here for, we will never understand. And see, I know you get your preaching on Sundays, you might get your motivation on Wednesday, but God has put me here to give you the tools to prepare you. See, I'm part of the equation. Yeah, I'm not your preacher, I'm not your pastor, but I'm part of the equation. I'm part of what God has put in place to help you grow. But before I close out, let's look at Philippians 3, verse 13 and 14. And it says, "Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before. I press towards the mark for the prize of high calling of God in Jesus Christ." This week, we built awareness, structure, discipline, emotional honesty, leadership alignment. But now, people, it's time to move. No more shrinking. No more negotiating with yourself. No more surviving emotionally. Going from great to greater requires courage, movement, discipline, agreement, fearless execution. The infrastructure is built. Now lead your life accordingly. And remember this, the next level of your life will require a version of you that stops negotiating with fear, excuses, inconsistency, and emotional hesitation. You already survived too much to keep living beneath your capacity. Come on, people. Let's go from great to greater. Hey, my time is up. I'm out of here. Thank you. Have a great weekend. I know some of y'all are off Monday, but guess what? I'm not. So I will join you on Motivation Monday. I am out of here. Peace.
Stay tuned and stay blessed here on Wave Radio.